Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the show Amazing People. And today we have guests from Karnataka. And before we introduce them, let's watch Spearhead Media, the introduction.
The Spearhead Media Group, a media house with a difference and making a difference. We aim to do what Ted Williams says, a well-aimed spear is worth three. The company headquartered in Mangaluru on Karnataka's west coast with a mission to engage, enlighten, empower, enable, and serve as a beacon of hope and unity for Kannadigas worldwide is doing that successfully for the last 7 years. It is a crowd-funded media company fulfilling a noble mission. From our shareholders to our employees, our mission is to provide the power of the media to those who need it most, the people, and hence the tagline, People's Corporate. Today, all media products of the Spearhead Group have hit their benchmark milestones and are going from strength to strength with your blessings and support. The media brands newskarnataka.com, an English news portal, newskannada.com, a Kannada news portal, are the most loved, trusted, exciting, and preferred news websites to come out of Karnataka in a long time. Why? Because they were born out of passion for the truth and constantly live up to their tagline, Truth Endures. Additionally, there is NKTV, a digital TV channel, NK Plus, a weekly e-magazine dedicated to the youth of Karnataka, Karnataka Today, an English monthly publication, and NK Live, the live streaming platform, all of which have already become the preferred destination for consumers, disseminators of information, and brand builders across the world. Village TV commenced in October 2019, slowly heading in creating jobs by engaging journalism and other faculty students across Karnataka in journalism and video editing, fulfilling the concept, earn while you learn. NK Digital Training Enablement Services, NKDTES, a e-learning platform born during pandemic, is gaining clientele for training online and skill development. Spearhead Academy of Applied Media Studies, SAMS, is emerging to support the Village TV in creating jobs in journalism and video editing as rural development program. From a humble beginning today, we contribute in a small but powerful way towards promoting positive and ethical journalism, and we stand committed to our mission to engage, enlighten, empower, and enable who need it most, the people.
We at Spearhead Media strive to do our best to empower people. And today we have guests with us, and I would like to introduce them. Three amazing people from Karnataka with whom we will talk about training and skill development. So I would like to introduce Ronald Oliveira, a Master of Science in Chemistry. Is the founder and CEO of Zillion Pathways Coaching Institute, Dubai, which nurtures and grooms young adults. He is a talent management consultant and career guide. He is a well-known public speaker and guest speaker, trainer, mentor, coach, who has successfully conducted several workshops and seminars for various educational institutions, corporates, and organizations in the Middle East and India. Ronald Oliveira is the longest serving member of Toastmasters International in the UAE with 28 continuous years in this worldwide organization that fosters public speaking and leadership qualities. He has the recognition of winning 3 international awards in international taped speech contests held in USA. He is also the only Toastmaster to win 4 first places in 4 consecutive years in Gulf level competitions known now as DTAC. He also has to his credit of winning 3 awards in one single Gulf Toastmasters annual convention held in Muscat, Oman in 2002. Ronald Oliveira is a renowned Konkani writer with more than 300 short stories and articles already been published in various Konkani magazines. Ronald is a sought-after master of ceremonies for various corporate and cultural events. Welcome, Mr. Ronald Oliveira.
It is now my privilege to welcome Mr. Chandrasekhar Rao. Mr. Chandrasekhar Rao, MTech in Communication Engineering, IIT Mumbai, and BE in Electronics Engineering, BMS College of Engineering, Bengaluru, with more than 30 years of experience in product development, including Center of Development of Telematics, C.Dot, Bengaluru, Global Telesystems, GTL Mumbai, 2 years in Romaware, now Mobilum, Mumbai, CSAM, now MasterCard, Mumbai and Infosys, Finacle, Mobile Banking, Bengaluru and Mangaluru. Currently, lead consultant, Sangam Online, Connected Services Private Limited and Apna Kata Labs Private Limited since 2013, and also a business consultant for News Karnataka. I also welcome Mr. Srinivas Bhatt. Mr. Srinivas Bhatt, a BCom graduate, MBA HR from Adam Smith University, USA, that is Vimas, Bangalore, MBBA from Training and Advanced Studies in Management and Communication Limited, Pune. He has a rich experience in delivering optimal results and business value in high growth environment in the areas of recruitment, compensation and benefit, training and leadership development, performance management and policy framing, established performance benchmarks and assessing the requirements and customizing training solutions. Currently, heading the talent acquisition team at GlowTouch, parent company of Dia Systems at Mangalore since 2011. Mr. Ronald, Mr. Chandrasekhar, and Mr. Srinivas, welcome on board. And what are your first thoughts? Over to Mr. Ronald.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all those who are watching this amazing initiative wherever you are. Irrespective of time of the day, if I have to wish all of you in our beautiful Kannada language, Namaskara.
Namaskara.
Before I express my thoughts, I would like to wholeheartedly thank News Karnataka for having included me in this elite list of amazing people. The various initiatives the team News Karnataka has taken are very useful and praiseworthy. I would have said that even if you had not included me in this amazing people's list. Team News Karnataka, keep marching ahead. Great job.
Okay. Mr. Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to the show. News Karnataka is definitely a media house with a difference. At a time when we are, struggling to differentiate between fake news and good news, here is one reliable, trustworthy place where you can be sure that we get authentic news. I've always wondered, the difference between real news and sensational news. Then a friend of mine gave me a correct explanation. The people with sensational news go to the place where the action is happening and report it in real time. But certain media houses like News Karnataka, they wait for the action to be completed. Then they take a holistic view of what happened and then report it, So that way we don't get the noise, we get only the signal. So ever since I got associated with News Karnataka, I have stopped my Times of India coming to my house. So this has become one of my staple, early morning consumption. Thank you, Valerian. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Srinivas Bhatt, your thoughts?
Hey, great. So I think today is a very great day. So, connecting with newskarnataka.com team. So, with the headlines of amazing people connecting with the different part of the country. So we are in Mangalore, Bangalore and Dubai. So, so nice to say that we are all very well connected and talking to, great people today. And, I should thank, News Karnataka whole team for making us to connect it, as well as to assemble and sharing our thoughts and, making this journey to be, very nice journey to be. So that's the way, thanks to Valerian, thanks to Rajesh and the team of, Arnold and Chandrasekhar.
Yes. Viewers, the guests have expressed their thoughts, what they feel about News Karnataka, and News Karnataka is ready to promote every Kannadiga living any part of the world, those who are talented and exceptional, so that we can present them globally. Now let's begin the show. My first question comes to Mr. Ronald. If I am not mistaken, you are from oil and gas industry, though a well-known public speaker and master of ceremonies. What prompted you get into education field and particularly Zillion Pathways Coaching Institute? Ronald.
Oh, yes. Well, you're right. By profession, I belong to oil and gas industry, and I was fortunate to have associated with some of the finest multinational companies in the world. However, by passion, I'm a public speaker. I used to conduct youth leadership programs to students and speech crafts to students, teachers, and other professionals in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, and India. And also, I was privileged to be invited by some of the renowned colleges in India as a guest speaker. So the kind of interest I could generate among the young adults motivated me to do something more to them. Even the schools, colleges, universities, the principals, counselors, and teachers started involving me in many of their high-profile events. In fact, they were the ones who suggested and in a way encouraged me that I should start something like this, not only to coach students, but also to groom them, nurture them, and also to show to them the actual path in which they should move ahead in their career. So that prompted me, and I thought this is a good passion combined with a little bit of profession. I thought I would start something, and by the grace of God, we are doing quite well, though we are just beginning to grow now. So thank you for this question, Val.
All right. Wish you all the best, and Rajesh will continue.
Yeah, that was a wonderful, Ronald. Nice to hear that passion, how you're converted as your career also. That's very nice. Well, the question now is to Mr. Chandrasekhar. I have got two parts in that. First, let me ask you the first part. You worked 26 years in several companies. Please share your working experience with our viewers, and also about Sangam Online and Apna Khata. That's the first part. Second part, I'm going to ask you next.
Yeah, see, I have been working in mostly startup companies all my career. My initial training was in a company called CDOT, okay, Center for Development of Telematics. Some of you may be aware that it was initiated by Sam Pitroda.
Yeah.
At a time when India did not have enough telephones. We had just 9 telephones for 1,000 people, okay. So all of us remember going at 10 o'clock to the STD booths to get a discounted rate for making a phone call to our relatives in other parts of cities, or we remember the, public call offices where you stand in a queue and make a phone call, So fortunately, I was involved in that revolution where we designed and developed our own telephone exchange for India. It's called the CDOT digital switching system. Starting from 128 lines to 5,000 lines and 10,000, 20,000 lines. I was instrumental for about 9 years working in CDOT and learning. It was almost like a Gurukul for me, where we used to work day and night, and we used to enjoy contributing to the development of India's telecom. When Bill Gates came to India, somebody asked him, what should we do to improve the software in India? And he told, just add more telephones, he said, and the result is there for everyone to see. Because of the telephone revolution, there has been a huge spurt in outsourced software development, and the rest is there for everyone to see. So that was my major company. And then I worked in a few companies in Bombay. And my last company was in Infosys, where I was instrumental in running the mobile banking division of Finacle. So since then, I ventured on my own. I had a passion to develop something, some unique products on my own. So since 2013, I've been running my own company. So I have two companies, Sangam One Connected Services and Apna Khata Labs. So Sangam One Connected Services was started to interconnect all the IoT devices in the world through a common platform. Much before the word IoT was coined, we decided that this is going to come today or tomorrow, and we were building, and even now we are building an infrastructure to connect every possible device in the world. Okay, so that is how Sangam One Connected Services came. Apna Khata Labs started with a vision of creating a single universal mobile banking app for the whole world. So in 2013, we built and published a unique app called Apna Khata, where we have a single app to serve more than 3,000 banks across 180 countries. Of course, from a business perspective, it was not a great success, but we are still proud of the fact that we are the first to launch a universal mobile banking app.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. That's very nice of it. And now your second part. Usually, programming is being taught by youngsters in their 20s and 30s. Although you are a CEO of a company, you seem you have taken up teaching program to the young children and engineering students. This is little surprising and rather strange. What is the motivation for this, and what do you want to achieve by training yourself? Why can't this be delegated to your staff?
It's a long
Yes.
question, Chandrasekhar.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting question. See, we all know about languages. We have Gujarati, Marathi, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu. This is all the languages which we know. On one end of the spectrum, we have a language like Sanskrit, which is Deva Bhasha, which is like a language spoken by the gods. On the other end of the spectrum, we have a language spoken by the machines. Okay. So what is the language spoken by the machines? We need to find a way to talk to machines, right? And that is called programming. Most of the people call it programming. So I am here to teach people how to talk to machines, and machines keep changing. There's huge advancement happening every day. So I thought I had a unique skill of simplifying how to learn programming. Okay. So after years of experience, I realized that there is a certain technique to teach programming. Otherwise, people will get very bored of it.
Right.
If you make that interesting and challenging, people will learn programming quickly. And the whole art of programming is to learn how to use a machine to your full advantage and get the best out of it. So that is the reason why I have decided to allocate a good part of my time in teaching programming to young children.
How much time does it take to any programming as such? How much time? Think for if you are doing some Kannada classes, 6 months or 1 year, something like that. How much time does it take for a basic programming to be learned?
I think it all depends on who is your first guru in programming. If you do not get a good teacher, you might be taking 2 years and still not learn anything. You have the feeling that you learned, but you have not really understood the intricacies. But if you have a good guru, and I have been fortunate to have some good people to help me in this, within 3 months, I think you can write simple programs. Within 6 months, probably you can develop a fairly end-to-end product. But to gain mastery, I think it takes 10 to 20 years. I think it's a very, very involved field. It takes a lot of time, and it has the technology continuously changes. So you need to change your style of learning, and the format, the syntax keeps changing. But the basics is nothing but logic and a systematic way of working. So I always tell my students, if you get up in the morning and if you fold your bed sheets neatly and keep it in one place, that means you're likely to be a good programmer.
Okay, great. Now, viewers, it's interesting to talk about the skill and training and skill development. Let's take a break now, and we'll be coming back after 30 seconds.
Qualified Machinery Services LLC is the leading construction equipment rental company established in the UAE. We give for rental soundproof generator, diesel air compressor, diesel welding generator, diesel drive tower lights, double drum walk behind rollers, plate compactor, concrete mixer machine, steel bar cutting and bending machines, asphalt cutters, power trowel machine, concrete vibrator, jumping compactor, tile cutter, concrete bucket, sand blasting machine, concrete grinder, cable and distribution board. Qualified Machinery Services LLC, Ajman.
Okay, back to live again. My question comes to Mr. Srinivas now. You are currently heading the talent acquisition team at Glotech. What is the business activity of this company and what is the nature of your work?
All right. So Valerian, thank you so much for the good question. Basically, Glotech is a technology company.
Yeah.
They are in the business from the last 18 years in Mangalore, as well as they have the locations in Bangalore, plus another 2 locations in the US now, Louisville as well as in the Boston town. 2 lines of business they are into. One is relating to the software development, close to around 300 people are working, as well as one more is into the IT services, IT enabled services we call it, which is basically technical support. We give the support on basically on the web hosting technologies all over the world. Our customers are spread into close all geographies in the world. We have grown up in the 18 years, almost like 2,000 people in geographically total. But Mangalore is a major center. We built up a very nice facility in Mangalore in the airport road now, and growing company. I associated with this company from the last 1 decade, totally around 10 years of my service going amazingly well. When I joined in 2011, actually we were close to just 700 people. Today we are with nearly 2,000 people actually global headcount. And my main responsibility comes in getting the right people to the organization. So right, I mean to say I press on the word right. So they should be able to basically to understand client communications, as well as able to react to the client actually in such a way that client should feel it, my customer service is delighted. So that's the way we try to pick up the people actually who are all basically trainable. We hire the people basically from the colleges much more, freshers in a 80% ratio, and then another 20% goes on a lateral hiring. So overall my responsibility comes in support the business or the growth of the business and get the people actually who are all well trained and attach them into the in-house training, then make them to be business value contributors.
Okay.
So what is the actual business you all are doing?
2 things. One is about software development. We have the service related business relating to the software development. We have the customers from majorly in the US. That's relating to the software development. Second one is we do the technical support to the people who are all small and medium sized enterprise owners. We try to build their website and host that website in our servers. As and when these customer faces any challenges in the website, let's say maybe an example, I'm trying to open a website today, so it may show that 404 error, 503 error, something like related to the server, or maybe networking issues. Or sometime maybe customer is having actually issues like my email is not working, I may have the password issues there. Or maybe they want to know about what's the database you are into. I want to retrieve all my data, whichever comes into my website related. So these kind of questions, sometimes the customer comes back and we support them in a live chat actually. So it's all, we have a very stringent norms to reply back to the client in a live. I mean to say about, every chat need to be attended within 60 seconds. And also the reply should go with very technical manner. A customer may be a layman, customer may be the expert, or customer may be general things actually want to understand what is website also. Our employees are so trained, so well actually equipped, so done with basically to understand all the basic things and logically strong. They should be able to reply to the customer in a very particular way, and also in a quick interval, because we all know that we use WhatsApp in such a way that as and when you type in the WhatsApp, your friend is actually online on the other side, you expect him to answer back within a few seconds.
Right.
By 10 seconds, you may wait. Another 5 seconds, you may wait. By the time 20 seconds comes in, you have started, hey, why my friend is not replying, right? So the expectation is so high, so quick. Most of our employees are, replying in such a way that our all the queries are attended in 60 seconds to begin, and then engage.
Okay.
That's our service.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That's why you are saying the turnaround time is 60 seconds and you need right people. The word right you are stressing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That really
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This question is for Ronald. What are your programs to students and how are your programs help learning new skills? How do they pay for the classes?
Yeah,
Rajesh?
I understood the question.
Yeah.
Rajesh, initially, I wanted to start an institute to help young adults to teach them the 21st century skills like life skills and other things. But then I realized that in current scenario, even many students wanted a very strong or a concrete foundation in courses like mathematics, physics, biology, chemistry, computer science, and also languages. So I went into that also. Now, to specifically reply to your question, what is special in our institute? One of the things what we do, we assess our students very well. We are into some very interesting assessments from world-renowned assessment companies. And once we assess our students, we know how exactly to guide them, what kind of coaching they require, and then we can groom them and we can really help them to prepare for this century where the competition is different than what we had during our time. This is a very, very specific and specialized way we are coaching our students. So I can
Now
get
the
into
thing,
the detail.
Ronald, just to add on,
Yeah.
think a student doesn't know how to go into career. So
Right.
will you all be able to guide them or something like that? Because certain students are there, they really don't know what are they going to take the new skill. So are you all able to guide them and take them up?
Rajesh, very, very important question. This is where many of the parents are not really taking it very seriously. See, one of the things what I mean during our time, it is even now continuing. What is happening is we think that okay, our son or daughter has to become a doctor, engineer, whatever. It is a preconceived notion, okay, which is slowly but steadily but strongly changing now, which is very good. What happens is when we do the assessment, we not only take care of the interest, it is also the ethics, the values, and all the abilities are taken into consideration. That way, with the report, we know exactly what is best for the students. And then we do counseling also to the students. And trust me, there are a lot of students who have, for example, those who wanted to become a doctor, we have never said it is not, because depending on the assessment report, it might. But then we advise them what way they can become a better doctor. See, that way we guide them.
Yeah.
Okay, now the thing is, what happens is sometimes parents have got a will. Okay, my child has to become a doctor, my child has to become an engineer, but a child doesn't know like where she's heading to. Child might be having interest. What you remember in our olden days, before singing, music was never been a subject, even dancing in that way. But now we are heading to a different generation where that is a profession. What do you say about it? Like,
absolutely, Rajesh, that is the point which I am trying to make. The parents still sometimes decide based on their social status. Sorry to say that, especially the Asian parents, they still think about social status at times. And children also, okay, interest is one thing which is very good, okay, but that interest might have an influence by someone, okay. Again, that interest doesn't mean it is everything. We in assessment, what happens, Rajesh, is it is not only a lot of factors are combined together. So in general, because there are a lot of assessments, that is the confusion again. That's the reason I have more than 12-13 years of experience working with different assessments, and finally I settled to 2 assessments which are top in the world. I'm not one of the top 10. So that is where I'm 100% sure with this assessment, if that online answers are given very well by the students, I would say they are very, very close to reality. Then it becomes very easy for us to guide students how they can move forward in career. Okay, so this is where our counseling part comes into picture. We also talk to parents. We never say, okay, don't do this, do this. We don't. But we explain to them why a particular field is good for the student based on that report.
But is the assessment free or is it been charged?
No, it's been charged because this is from one of the top companies. And for your information, 2 assessments which I'm talking about are top 5 in the world. They are from USA. And there is a lot of research going on in that. And every assessment, we have to pay for the parent company. So it is not free. And also, like sometimes I do the counseling for nearly 2-3 hours. Okay, it's time also. So, but still, it's a very, very reasonably priced. Very, very reasonably priced.
Okay, I have a question to you on this, on the sidelines of what Rajesh and you are talking. What about the passion of a student? If a student is passionate about something, how do you discover it?
Yes, well, that is again, if he is passionate, this will be reflected in the report. So I wish I had a model of a report pattern here, so I could have explained.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I think why I'm asking is because for the benefit of the viewers, I'm asking this question. I hope they will understand when you tell. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, what happens is passion is something which is very, very, very important. Like by the grace of God, though somebody had told us to do what we had to do, and we did it, and we are doing pretty well. But now for the future generation, that may not be the case. So that is where the passion plays a real important role. No doubt about it. But then that is not everything. Okay, then another mistake very often we make is that depending on what is trending, okay, what has a future, which course has a future. Now, Chandrasekhar and Srinivas might agree with me. There was a huge scope for software engineering few years back. Still it is there, I'm not saying, but it is going down a little bit. And another risk when you are talking about what is trending, then the problem is that the student will learn for 4-5 years. Will that be still a trending when they complete their education? That is the risk you are taking. So trending is not everything again. So here you have to make a culmination of everything together, do the proper assessment, and then take the right step. That is interest, passion, your aptitude, ability, so many things there.
Okay. Great. Very nice. You have put it, because the test is capturing all the things in a student and it gives the result, and you are putting him in the new skill where he has to go in. Very good. Very nice. Very nice. And my question comes to you, Chandrasekhar, now. Due to COVID, everybody is forced to go online for learning. Is this effective? What are the pitfalls and what steps can be taken to ensure that training is effective? How can we ensure that nobody is left out and we provide equitable opportunity to everyone to learn? Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, so see, we all, our best friends today are the ones who were sitting next to us in our school days, right? So there is the fun of going to school is something, very, very different, whether we study or learn or not. But school days are school days, and there is no, taking away the childhood and all the sweet memories, So given the chance, I would definitely like to go back to school. But we are in different times now. The pandemic is not something which we can wash away, right? Wish away. Yeah. We have no choice but to go online and keep ourselves busy and learn. But thanks to the all-encompassing network connectivity that we have got, almost every information is available online. Okay, everything, probably every bit of information is available online, and it's sometimes mouth-watering. You don't have time to read all of that. Okay, but your question is very true. What makes an effective learning strategy? On one end of the pendulum, we have dedicated classrooms where a tutor comes to within the 4 walls and teaches. On the other hand, we have self-paced videos recorded by somebody, and we need to sit and alone in the house and watch without any interaction. I think both these are two extremes. What we need is I would call it as a blended learning, where we have an instructor-led online course. I think that's the best part. There has to be an online course so that anybody can attend everything, any training, but it has to be instructor-led. But having said it is instructor-led, an instructor cannot be online for 8 hours. That's practically not possible. Even the students will get bored of it. So the norm is he comes in only for 1 hour or 2 hours per week, okay, and he gives a whole lot of assignments to the students, and again next week he's there to solve all the problems and to correct the mistakes, assignments, etc. So I think the sweet spot is to have a combination of instructor-led training and a wealth of online information available through a portal which is accessible to the student whenever he wants. I think that is what I would strongly recommend, even after the COVID situation improves.
Okay.
To
okay,
add on, Mr. Chandrasekhar, now by having this e-learning or whatever it is, the online learning, what is there a scope for the people who have already retired to be an instructor and give some instructions to the new generation by online? Because you can have an instructor sitting outside and then teach. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. I think today the situation is such that anybody who has had 20-25 years of experience, he will definitely be a good teacher in whatever field. It could be fisheries, it could be agriculture, it could be yoga, anything, but I think one point which I think I didn't answer in Valerian's earlier question is, there is also a certain tragedy in the current online system. If you go 50 kilometers from Bangalore, all the rural areas, they do not have internet connectivity, and all the people, they struggle to come online. So the people in the cities who are good broadband, they enjoy all the meat of the training, whereas the other people, they go home with a sorry face saying that no, I could not listen to anything. So I think very, very important that we must we must conserve our internet bandwidth in such a way that it is available to the length and breadth of the country. That two resources which I think we waste a lot is water and internet bandwidth.
This is why I asked you, how can we ensure that nobody is left out? You said in the beginning, the telecommunication revolution, when it started, Bill Gates said, connect the people through the telephones. I think today is the time to connect our villages without leaving any village out there without the internet. They need to be connected, because that is the bread and butter today. As food, shelter and other things are required, internet is the thing today for every village, so that they can learn and connect it to the world and they can learn. What do you say?
Yeah, very much. I think we need to have a good use of our resources which are available. What are the resources which are available? The network is a resource, the computer is a resource, the mobile phone is a resource. Instead of forcing everybody to be online all 24 hours, we can push data through the mobile phone, and he can see the information at a later point of time. So I think the information architecture has to be slightly modified to take care of the rural needs of our country. Okay.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Let's have a break now for 30 seconds and we'll come back shortly.
Quick Accounting and Advisory LLC, Abu Dhabi. Accounting is the bloodline of your business. We provide accurate and timely accounting with day-to-day reports on cash flow, profit and loss, and balance sheet. You do business and leave accounts to us. We will manage it for you. Call Quick Accounting and Advisory LLC at +971 50 7123 965 or visit www.quickaa.com today. Quick Accounting for perfect business.
Okay, we are back live. Rajesh, please go ahead.
Okay, now this question is for Mr. Srinivas. Both Ronaldo Oliveira and Chandrasekhar are involved in training and skill development. What is your opinion, Mr. Srinivas?
Great question. I love both of them. And they both are handsome.
Thank you.
No doubt about it, actually. Jokes apart, basically, right? So teaching as well as the training is one of the, in my opinion, auspicious job. You imagine maybe, we are all born as a small baby. And then, as soon as you move to maybe around 8 months, 9 months, you try to, just to stand. And then, want to stop, you're walking actually at 2 steps, 3 steps. Your mother will come and handhold you to walk actually to the next. And then she make you to be kind of, walkable, talkable, smile, everything will start from there. So we say most of the time actually in our ancient literature also, and we all agree, mother is the first teacher as well as the trainer. The profession who are all having in the teaching, the training, the young profession, to make them to be, more confident, more employable, as well as, make them to be enriched in the knowledge. So most of these trainers, most of these teachers, I love them. So because we are all, have a tremendous love with our mother. The same way, most of our teachers and trainers are actually, kind of a mother to us, to make us to be, more knowledgeable, more employable, more actually, kind of confident. When the knowledge comes to the trainers, teachers, definitely it's a kind of, making us to be more confident to face the world. Apart from this, in the business angle, if you see about anybody got trained, when he mentioned maybe in his profile, hey, I have the training attended so much, that shows that, basically when you see that profile, wow, that's a kind of, seeing as me kind of an HR profession, we love to see actually what are the knowledges he acquired, maybe attending the different certification course, attending maybe the different trainings, maybe instructor-led online courses, or as and when they attend the classroom training, that makes us to catch an attention in that profile. Hey, this CV looks pretty well. Why can't you talk to him and acquire my business? So that means they are employable. That's why my thanks to the trainers and teachers all over the world. They are amazing people, and I love them. Thank you.
Good. That's really wonderful to explain how training and skill development is very much required through training, how people can be, kept abreast to the current situation of the, technical knowledge or the current, things that are happening throughout the world. So it's very good. My question to Ronald, to you, we understand that in addition to helping students strengthen their foundation in main subjects like mathematics, science, and other languages, you give a lot of emphasis on 21st century education. What are those courses, especially on public speaking and personality development, which you think can mold the future of current generation?
Well, very interesting question again.
Yeah.
I believe one of the most important things which every person should possess is better communication.
Right.
Okay, I'm not only talking about public speaking here, but overall communication. The one who is able to express the way it is understood by other, he will be the one who will make a big career, nice career in future. That is what I tell my young adults who come to my institute. So I personally, as Rajesh mentioned to Chandrasekhar a while ago, though I am the CEO of the company, I personally take interest in coaching children in public speaking because I have nearly 3 decades of experience in Toastmasters. I put my heart and soul in that. One course we have introduced is called Master Public Speaker. Those who do not know anything about public speaking, we start from there for almost a grade, age 10 student, till there is no upper limit for that. And we teach everything about public speaking there. And then once they finish that, the next is the advanced course, which is called Champion Public Speaker, where we teach them a lot of things a normal classes will not teach. It is completely through experience of champions, not only me, a lot of champions in public speaking. And then for personality development, we have something called self-reformation, where we teach a lot of 21st century skills. And this has become a super hit overnight, I would say, though it is online classes, and almost every single batch was a full house batch. I'm very happy that people have realized how important these skills are. So
Yeah.
that is where I'm really feeling so proud about Zillion Pathways.
Now the
think,
trend-
Rajesh,
Yeah,
yes, please.
Now the trend is going to the public speaking, about values. All that things are coming into picture. It was nice, interesting to know that that courses are with you. I think so I should also better do it now.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Rajesh. Welcome.
Just to elaborate with you, Ronald, what I think is communication is very, very important in every profession and every employment or anywhere, even in business, I think communication is very important. Whether you are any kind of professional, anywhere, communication is very important. And there is a saying in Kannada, "Maatu ballavaniಗೆ ಜಗಳವಿಲ್ಲ," which means if you know how to talk in every circumstance, there is absolutely no problem at all. What do you say?
I totally agree with you, Val. Luckily, our generation, I take all of us in the same generation.
Yes.
Some of you may be younger than me, but still I'm saying. So maybe it was not that important. If you go with a first rank certificate, probably
Yeah.
you had a better chance of getting a job. But today I can categorically say that if two people go, one with the first rank and one without a rank, but decent marks, I'm not undermining the importance of the curriculum. Okay,
Right.
the actual subjects and all, but then if somebody with the first rank and somebody with good marks, they both go, and the one who is with good marks and not a rank is a better communicator, who can sell his ideas better, I can challenge you, he will be the one who gets that job first.
Correct.
So that is,
Absolutely.
yeah, yes,
totally
ma'am.
agree with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I will go ahead with Chandrasekhar now.
Yeah.
There are many courses like Udemy, Coursera, and many other who offer online training. How are your training programs different? Do you follow any special methodology? What is the cost for the participant? What time of the day do you prefer to conduct such online training? It's a long question, but you can make it short.
Yeah, I think I would consider people like Udemy like similar to the Hotmail of previous. Hotmail came and introduced email, free email to all of us, right? They were the trendsetter. Similarly, Udemy is a trendsetter. They started, Udemy, Coursera, and all those people. They gave us the belief that yes, the whole content can be put online. But if you look at reality, those videos are some 40-hour videos. You start seeing it, you fall asleep in between, you get up. It is very boring to learn alone. Learning has to be a little, interactive. If there is no interaction, you tend to, the effectiveness.
Okay, I totally agree with Chandrasekhar about the interactive sessions, even in online, are very, very important. That is where, to answer Rajesh's previous question, what way are institutes different? Whatever course we take, we have a limited people or limited children in the classroom, whether it is online, definitely not more than 10 to 12. That is the maximum. It will be very, very clearly interactive sessions, whether it is a foundation courses, advanced courses, communication courses, anything. Okay. Normally 8, but definitely not more than 12.
Okay. Right. My question to Srinivas, as a HR professional, what is your opinion for the employees in general about training and acquiring new skills, and how these will help them to grow?
Thanks, Valerian. So it is really relevant question actually. Business demands always excellence. So unless the excellence you meet, actually, otherwise you're out of the competition. There are companies actually who are having excellence things also, and they stopped their learning things to make them investment on their employees, to make them to be upskill. They're almost like a dead. Challenges always actually comes in the business. To make them to be right, our employees should be always need to be upskilled. The 4 pillars of the business basically comes in. One is your cost you need to keep always low. That means you have to deliver the things in a very speed way. Second one comes in, actually your revenue need to be intact. So you should not impact on the revenue, but that has to be on the right spirit. Third one comes in, basically our customer always wants actually high quality. So your quality may be 99.99 today, customer demand will be tomorrow as 100. So tomorrow's and day after tomorrow comes in, and tomorrow's quality will be 99.99 only. So next day comes in, the demand is different. So that means business always wants the excellence. And delivery should happen almost like dot. I say about evening 6 o'clock, my pizza has to be delivered to my house. If they deliver at 6.05, I don't like it.
Yeah.
They come in actually pizza to my house at 5:55. I love them. Oh, they are must actually. So 6 o'clock I have the dot to cut the pizza, so it is there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's why business always demand excellence. That will come through when my employees are well trained and my employees are actually well skilled. And the skilling is always a continuous journey. So I strongly believe every corporate, every company, in my company also we do that. In every 6 months, most of the employees need to go to different trainings. It may be relating to the business technology, it may be relating to the training skills, or maybe leadership skills. We try to train them every 6 months and they have to go to the different trainings. So that's why it is very, very, very essential. You have to be in the competition. You need to be get trained. You need to be upskilled. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the viewers who are watching the small and medium enterprises anywhere in the world, they must understand that training of their people, those who are on board, is very, very essential, because the skill sets have to be polished and they need to be grown with the trending demand which is there, which is changing every day right now. So the training is very much important in every area that we are doing business. Chandrasekhar, my question to you now: earlier most of the online trainings were technology based. Most of the skill based training like dance, music, yoga were all done in person. Do you see a possibility for such trainings coming under the ambit of NKDTES, Digital Training Enablement Services? These people need something simple and easy to use. What should they do if they want to enroll for your platform?
I think, yeah, the concept of training has, become paramount to everybody. Anybody who has a skill to impart and a knowledge to impart. So now these fine arts, etc., are becoming very important, not only from one perspective, but the whole world now wants people who are emotionally sound, not necessarily intellectually sound. We want people who are balanced in their personalities, and things like music, dance, sports, these are all things which will make you a little more a more rounded individual. So all the professionals, whether it's a music teacher, they have all realized the importance of technology, and they are adapting much faster than engineers are doing it.
Right.
Medical doctors are adapting like anything. I have a gynecologist friend who is saying he is going to open up in vitro fertilization training to top doctors across the world, and they are willing to pay huge money. So I think these people don't need to build their own software. Why should they? They are all doctors and music teachers. They must make a phone call within 24 hours. The course should start. Anything more than 24 hours, then it is not worth it.
So your DTES is ready for this particular purpose?
Yes. It has two major components. It has the ability to create a company, it has the ability to create a course, and it has the ability to announce the fees for the course, the schedule for the course, and a simple one-click button to make the payment. Once you are paid, then the faculty gets an email and he can start uploading all the content. So next day the class can begin.
Okay. So
I think not only in News Karnataka, I mean, a lot of companies will adopt this, and it is important that the world is very big. I mean, anybody who has a training need can just initiate and come onto the platform.
Yeah, as you say, we got an inquiry from Mumbai maybe a few hours back. A lady who is teaching yoga, she wants to come to our platform, DTES.
Okay, very good.
That's a very good news for you. So that.
So let me explain what are the steps which one would do. Now, a person who teaches yoga would typically get up in the morning at 6 o'clock and say 6 to 6:30 she will conduct yoga. But practically, if you see, after the class, she has so many yoga poses, all the advantages, side effects, and all those videos, images has to be put somewhere, right? So she need not take a website and put anything. So she has to just sign up, and then she can transfer all the content so that people who enroll for a course will get the benefit of all the content.
Okay, all right.
Very nice.
That's very nice. And
I'll go with Ronald now, what is your opinion on online learning and e-learn? And is it going to stay in future? Is Zillion Pathway is ready to give connectivity of its training to other DTS companies?
Yeah, I will first reply to your second question, which is whether we are ready to join hands with DTES companies. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm not saying we are ready today, but eventually we will. One of the things, definitely, News Karnataka is one of the platforms which we are considering. It all depends on how we go the next step. I'm very, very open for this idea. And if you are asking me to reply to your first question, online, is it going to stay? My answer is definitely yes. The reason is, before, people did not know we had something like this. Now imagine a small scenario. Tomorrow, by the grace of God, all schools will open, physical classes will start, everything. And after 8-10 hours in the school, do you expect the student to go again for a coaching class, physically traveling half hour or half an hour or 1 hour? No. Now they know that there is an online coaching class. So probably the student would prefer that more than a physical class.
Right.
Having said that, physical classes face to face are going to stay. It will be a kind of, mix of both.
Yeah. Okay, Ronald and all our guests, let us take a break now, the last break, and we'll come back in 30 seconds.
What is your opinion? This is for Mr. Srinivas. What is your opinion on companies earmarking budgets for training and skill development of its employees, and how that will help the companies to retain the acquired talent?
Great question, Rajesh. Really, I think very, completely, business related question. When you say budget, earmarking, these are really, business related words actually used. Thankful to you for that. Every business, I'll take, a little bit of example here. I meet generally, almost like 5 to 6 candidates in a day average. So, whenever they try to meet me, I ask one question to them. So, basically when you saw their resume and everything, when this your resume prepared? Some candidates will say, almost like just a month. Some will say almost like, 3 months. Some will say almost like 6 months over, man. So the way they reacted that particular resume to prepare, or maybe, resume to upgrade, that shows that, how much serious they are. The candidate which he answers actually basically, hey, 6 months over, that means he's in a casual attitude, not showing interest to learn, not showing interest to, ready to take up any new assignment as a job or something. And the person who says 3 months over, he's quite stable, but he want to acquire, so we can trainable material. The person who says about, not even a month, that shows that he's quite aggressively ready to learn, and he wants to take up any assignment, and he will become a hypos to the organization. The word hypo means high performance. So that kind of a people we try to focus. Okay, this guy is ready to take up, and always, make them learning actually there. And in our organization, or maybe overall in most of the corporate sector, they want to keep their own, X amount of money to upskill hypos. That is overall high performance, train them, make them to be, kind of a solid performance, and make them to be good leaders in the organization. As soon as they become the leaders, they translate that culture to the next level. So that's it helps us to build the strong leaders in the organization and make them to be, vision oriented. Hey, down the line, 5 years, where you want to see yourself? Either this much of amount of money you want to earn, or this is the position you want to go, or you want to become an impactful leader in the organization.
Yeah.
So in that way, when you try to train the people, so that will, kind of, mix the budget, either maybe in-house training, external trainers, or maybe, now online courses, or some certification courses. All those things actually, as an organization, we encourage. So that will the business to reach and keep in the, ahead in the competition.
Okay. Wonderful that your company is, conducting in-house trainings and, corporate trainings, or outside from the, But just to give you a tip, we have in our panel a wonderful person who can train you, Mr. Ronald Oliveira, and just keep in your mind that
Sorry to interrupt, actually, Valerian. So great, I think that's a great platform today to meet him actually over the thing. That's why I said two hands.
My pleasure, sir.
Actually, in the discussion,
pleasure.
and to our gurus.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. All right. We are coming to the end of the show. This is the last question to all of you, and it has got two parts. So I will ask you, what is your message to people amidst living with Corona? And the second part is, what is your call to viewers to support News Karnataka and why? I will start with Mr. Srinivas.
A great question. So, Corona is a continuous, I mean to say about, today Corona, tomorrow something else, day after tomorrow something else, that always, this kind of a situation is coming. We should be ready ourselves to learn new things, new acquirement related, that will make us to be the winner in the, kind of a competition.
Yeah.
So to make that in a News Karnataka is a best channel, I would say about, they are giving the best platform for us to publish, to maybe, kind of interact with the good people. Live example is, I interacted today with Chandrasekhar, of course, I know him. Ronald is the best, kind of today, actually, today, the great day, I would say about, meeting him and talking to him. Rajesh's voice is very, very impactful voice, actually, no doubt about it, that's the way I think, that's a good people I connected. That means News Karnataka is a great platform to connect with, as well as, make all of our business to grow, all of our to be, kind of a good citizens, to wherever we are actually in the whole country or maybe in the whole world, to make use of this platform will help us to well connected and grow. That would be to the viewers.
Yes, thank you so much. And Mr. Ronald, what are your thoughts? What is the message to people living in the midst of Corona, and why viewers to support News Karnataka?
My message, I think enough messages have been given to the people about Corona.
Okay.
I would only repeat, don't get afraid, but don't take it easy. Listen to the legal authorities, and you have to be safe yourself. It is your personal responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
Then regarding News Karnataka, what I like about News Karnataka is standing by the truth. That is what exactly required in today's current scenario. As Chandrasekhar said in the beginning, we want to know the truth. Okay, please stand by this value. Truth endures is something which is your punchline.
Right.
That is something which I really like. And Village TV is a great initiative. And DTES, absolutely, that is a good platform for people to learn. Overall, team News Karnataka, you are doing a great job. God bless you. All the very best.
Thank you. And Mr. Chandrasekhar, your last words. Okay.
Yeah, when I started my entrepreneurship career, I had two goals. One, to be a good human being, and other is to be a good engineer. This Corona time has given me a lot of opportunity to introspect, stay with the family, slow down in life. Apart from all the negative elements, I think there are a lot of positives too. So I am no expert in Corona, but for me, it has been a blessing in disguise for us to introspect and rewind. And I have, as you all know, I have now started from nursery and started teaching all over again. And I have some very good students from California, Atlanta, children of NRI students. So I enjoy, spending time teaching on programming, and that has given me a lot of satisfaction. And I think hopefully the coming days will give good results.
Now, thank you very much, Ronald and Srinivas and Chandrasekhar. Thank you for participating in the show and spending your time with our viewers and answering wonderful, questions and giving apt answers. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best in your the career of Mr. Srinivas and the business of Ronald and Chandrasekhar. Thank you very much. And
thank you very
Rajesh.
much. Sir.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you, Val. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank
It's
you.
a wonderful experience. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.